A case that captured the nation for the last 2.5 years coming to a close. Yesterday, Bryan Kohberger was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murders of 4 Idaho college students.
So joining us this morning live now to recap yesterday's sentencing is Dr. Scott Belshaw, a professor and Department Chair of Criminal Justice and Security Studies at the University of Dayton. Scott, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We want to begin with Bryan Kohberger. He did not speak at Wednesday's sentencing. Is this what you expected to see, and should he have provided his motive?
Oh, absolutely. This is expected because there's no upside legally for him to speak and tell what happened. So, you know, a lot of times when you have these sentencing hearings there and you have the victim impact statements, which is what you saw, those are typically for the family to be able to get out and speak and say their feelings. But to be honest with it, from a legal perspective, they don't have a lot of impact on there because the judge already knew what they were going to sentence anyway. So I was not surprised when he did not say anything or talk about his motive, but he could possibly do that later on, maybe to negotiate a sentence or something. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
And even President Trump weighed in on this case earlier this week, saying the judge should force Kohberger to share the motive behind this crime. Is that something that the judge even could have done?
No, the judge cannot force him to speak and do anything like that, because there's still constitutional protections that are still at play. However, again, there's no upside for him to say anything. There's nothing for him. I mean, it doesn't benefit him at all. So his lawyers were telling him, no, don't say anything, because again, if he says something, somebody is maybe not going to, like that or something. It's just going to be, so there was no upside.
For the first time, though, we did hear from one of the surviving roommates who was best friends with the girls. So what did you expect to hear from them? And were you shocked to hear some of her speech that she made?
Oh, I listened to a lot of the speeches, and they were very compelling and very powerful. I mean, even when the prosecutor is actually tearing up. I mean, I've never seen that in a courtroom before where the prosecutor was tearing up in that sense. This is very important to them. It was a very important case to them, and it was interesting that they decided to not go for the death penalty on him, and that was kind of uncommon on when 4 people were murdered in that brutal of an attack, and the state of Idaho does not or does have the death penalty. However, I think the prosecutors spoke with the families and just said, look, we just want to move this case forward. We just want to, there is no closure to this criminal justice system. There is no closure in it, but this moves families and people forward. And so.
And we're going to skip to the last question here because you have a history of working in the correction system. So we wanted to ask you, what will Bryan Kohberger's life in prison look like?
Probably 23 hours a day in a cell. He will be able to purchase, and I heard on the TV he's able to purchase an iPad and a television, but one of the things they were saying on TV is that he will have access to the internet. Inmates do not have access to the internet. So he will be basically sitting in a cell and for 23 hours a day doing nothing. 1 hour he'll be able to go out for walking and outside, maybe get a little sunlight, but that's about it. But he is locked in there for life without parole. He will not see the light of day.
Dr. Belshaw, thank you so much for giving us a little insight into this hot topic and hot trial this morning.
Oh, glad to help.
Our time right now is 8:41. We still have a lot more coming up for you in the hour, so make sure you stay with us.